The G20 Leaders Summit process is very much about public perception. Yes, of course, it's important for world leaders to have face time together, but that could also be accomplished in bilateral meetings, smaller meetings, perhaps even more effectively than at these larger summits. So a big part of what's going on at the summits is about telling a story to voters, to investors, to the business community, about the world's leaders getting their stuff together, getting solutions to the world's problems. And the only way to get that story out in countries with a free media, or as in some G20 countries, a somewhat free media, is through journalists, through people telling stories. So what you see at the summits is a very large process to manage the media. We have 1,000 to 2,000 journalists here, including television technical crews and writers and columnists and media commentators. It's a very big airplane hangar-sized building full of journalists. And it's very much about telling the story to them so they can go out and tell the public. And that really is very much the majority, I think, of what the G20 process is about. What I'll do here is quote from CIGI visiting senior fellow Paul Bluestein, who has been a working journalist all of his life. And what he says about the media and the G20 process is that it's actually helpful to the G20 process if the media is critical and are asking tough questions and are not, let's say, being cynical, but being very skeptical of what the leaders are accomplishing. Because political leaders, especially in countries with democracies, are more likely to act if they're being questioned severely, and if the media are telling the story that not enough is being done or more ought to be done. Political leaders don't like the perception that they're not doing enough or that they're inactive, and they can be spurred on by media coverage. So these two processes of media and G20 leadership go hand in hand.